Hello and welcome to another episode of Ranting and Raving. Today we have a very special guest on today. We have Law Nation Sports. Law, how are you doing today?
Hey man, I'm doing great. Can't complain. Hey, the new season is here.
It is here. So much to
Yeah.
talk about. Obviously, for those that may not know you, what can you give the people?
Well, I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. I've been around these spaces for many a moons, and win, lose, or draw, I'm here. Cowboys Nation all day, every day, even twice on Sunday.
I got
Yeah,
chills with that. Now that's what you want to hear as a Cowboys
yeah.
fan. But I want to ask the question that we're always constantly asked: how did you become a Cowboys fan?
Oh man, the great Everson Walls in the '80s. He was a guy that pretty much was undrafted. He wore 24. I wore 24 by the way in middle school and high school because of him. But I gravitated to him because of his story and his ability to play defensive back was crazy. He had the first record for the Cowboys of 11 INTs
Oh wow.
in one season. So my love started in the early '80s following the Cowboys.
Now, you did say you played what position?
Defensive back.
Oh, defensive back.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Oh, so were you logged down? Were you logging them down?
Man, I wish I could say there'll be too much dip on the chip, man. I was out in space, man, more of the safety aspect of it. But primarily, my calling card was track. I ran track and played basketball, so I was a multi leveled athlete here in Mississippi when I was living there.
Oh wow. I mean, I need those. The only thing I could do is just run a while for like 5 minutes and call it a day. Now,
Most certainly.
what kind of inspired you to take on that role of going from playing football to liking the Cowboys to then creating a YouTube channel out of it?
Well, my love for the Cowboys always existed, right? And while I was working at a facility, you couldn't use the NFL.com, so you could only pull up YouTube. And make a long story short, I would take small clips of the football game and put them on YouTube, and I would talk and do a VO over it, voiceover, and unfortunately, fortunately, it became a niche. And a lot of people were saying, hey, we love the way you break down film, whether it's quarters defense, cover three, cover one. We would start breaking down film and tape. And they said, man, you got a voice for radio, right? And then they said, hey, man, you ever thought about having a YouTube channel full time? And that's where it all sparked from. Me just breaking down film, talking about players, X's and O's, and it just developed into this passion that I can't release and let go. So I just started my own YouTube page, and it went from there.
Awesome. See, it's one of those things because you brought down kind of breaking down the film, and especially after Cowboys lost, we're looking at the game, we're like, they should have did that, they should have did this,
Right,
and then you
right.
break it down, and be like, actually, what they did was the right thing because, and then you kind of jot it down. So definitely the in-depth analysis that you bring made me learn a lot, especially when it came to big moments, especially when it came playoff time.
Most certainly, most certainly. And I was used to break it down. Thank you for tuning in to the Law Nation Film Session as we take a deeper look at the Cowboys. I used to do it that way. Yeah.
Now, I did see on your YouTube channel, of course, it's all Cowboys, but you got to interview the legendary or original number 88, which was Drew Pearson. What was that experience? The nerves of meeting the original 88.
It was great knowing that he caught the Hail Mary, right? And if he had parquet hands, it wouldn't have been the Hail Mary, right? So Drew Pearson, I think that he's a pillar of not just the Cowboys community and beyond, but he's a pillar of the NFL because now to this day, people are still saying, hey, throw a Hail Mary, right? And him and Roger Staubach, who are just a unique pair. But by being able to talk to Drew and picking his brain on a lot of things, it goes far beyond just football because I can get a chance to see how he's able to elevate him life beyond football with mental health awareness and as well as being able to give back to the people, especially during the holidays. So a lot of that stuff goes unseen, but it's good to be able to sit down with a Hall of Famer and watch that process go. And I like what Drew Pearson been doing for the community and beyond, which is second to none.
Do you have any other Cowboys players, whether it's former or right now, that you want to interview?
Oh, well, I got a chance to talk to Dak Prescott.
Oh, nice.
Got a chance to sit down with him and go over a lot of things, and as well as most of the players, what I realized is that they gravitate to my film analysis and my opinions. It's a crazy thing that after most games they say, okay, I understand what Stephen A. Smith said. I understand what this guy said. But what did Law Nation say? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So it's always that. So I tread lightly on some things, but some things, when I get mad, baby, I get mad, frustrated, and everybody get a chance to catch these hands as it relates to the football talking conversation. So it is for what it is. I don't have any unique person that I would like to interview because I get a chance to hang out with them anyway. You get what I'm saying?
I do, and that's honestly
Mhm.
just an honor in itself. Going from talking about the
Right.
game like you have, and to now getting
Yeah.
these opportunities, that's like a full circle moment, if you will.
Right.
Now, I got
360 all the way. Well, 180.
one A.
Go
There you
ahead.
go. Now I gotta ask you because obviously being a Cowboys fan, it has its pros, with the legendary star, the colors, but when it comes to the fan base, it's always where like we're the joke of the league. So what's your
Right.
thoughts on when it seems like after a Cowboys loss, instead of the Chiefs fumbling a game or Seattle losing, it's like, oh, whoa, did you see what the Cowboys did? They did this, and this.
I always look at it like when we look at a loss, there's 31 other teams. But I've have seen that even when their other teams lose, they want to rack on and pile on with the Cowboys. So by being, as they say, heavy is the crown, and by the Cowboys being the most visible team, right? You get a lot of people who wishy-washy. Loyalty is loyalty. You can't say that you're a die-hard Cowboy fan, and at the same breath you lose out in a battle with an Eagle guy or a
Yep.
Giants guy. No, it's a die-hard Cowboy fan. So you die hard, not soft. So I look at it like this: when we are giving the chance to win, then let's talk about it. But when we lose, at the end of the day, yes, they may be old and ancient, 5 rings in the 90s or what have you, altogether since the 90s. Why and how come other teams haven't caught up? It's not
Yep.
as easy as most people think. And loyalty goes a long way. And I always look at it like this: we're not folding up like a wallet nor a lawn chair. So forget the people that want to, I guess, smile in our face, sully and denigrate and excoriate us. But that's okay, because at the end of the day, it's DC for life, not for short. We still here. That's how I look at
Somebody get
it.
that on a shirt. I need that
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. Bring
Because you
it.
you even look at a team like the 49ers, which I believe they're also in a longer drought than
Right.
Dallas, I think by a year or two. So nobody seems to talk now. You could say their success going to the playoffs and Super Bowl, but they haven't won.
Haven't won. You're right. And the name of the game is winning, you know? So
Exactly.
they on a longer drought. You're right.
Now, this wouldn't be a Cowboys, interview without talking about the Cowboys, obviously. So let's
Right.
kind of go about how this offseason started. A lot of moves were made by Dallas this offseason, obviously. One of them was we were in the Max Crosby little fortune, if you will.
Right.
We signed Jalen Thompson. We signed Kobe Durant, PJ Locke. We traded for Rashawn Gary. What's kind of your thought process of what the Cowboys did this offseason?
I think they did solid moves. Every move you can look back on and say, okay, I can understand the move. Jalen Thompson, he can play on top of the roof, down inside the box. He can play two-way goals. So that's a versatile player. When you look at Kobe Durant, he had 3 INTs, I believe, in the last postseason game. If you go back and date 15 years, you will probably not find a Cowboy player with 3 INTs in the postseason. We need that.
We
So
do.
even if you look at from the aspect of Rashawn Gary, we needed a veteran guy that can help out and be versatile in the 3-4 defense. Well, we got him now. So every move, I can make a legit reason why we made that move, which will help propel this team into higher heights, which I like. Now, everyone has a reason, but results are what matter. But right now, it's the time to support this team and root for them, and hopefully they can find a way to stay on this team and make some major impacts. But I like the moves that we did this offseason.
And yeah, I mean, it's coming off I guess you could say, a historically bad defense with Matt Eberflus and kind
Yeah.
of leading the league in terms of points allowed, if I remember correctly. So moving on from him to now Christian Parker, what expectations, I guess you will, do you have for Christian? I've seen some good things about it.
Right.
A lot of back and forth between him and the offense, which is giving me like chills a little bit because that's what
Yeah.
you want to see on your defensive side.
Most certainly, the Cowboys gave up 511 points.
Wow.
The Cowboys, historically speaking, been around for 66 years. They never gave up that many points. So the expectation for Christian Parker not to give up 512 points. On top of that, where we were ranked at in most categories, we're dead last in defense on stopping the run and as well as 15 plus yards that was allowed. So what I'm expecting from Christian Parker is to condense a lot of things and get rid of all of those negative plays. We may not be a top 5 defense nor a top 10, but if we can get around the top 12, top 15, maybe top 20, then we are in a good spot. By the way, the Cowboys never in the history of winning anything won without having a defense. So at least we can paint a picture that we're heading into the right direction with Christian Parker if we increase this or better this defense.
Now, when it comes to Jerry Jones, we kind of know, Jerry is very stingy, especially with, signing and trading players. I'm not sure if you saw this yesterday, but there's reports
Yeah.
saying that he called a team about potential trade a couple of days earlier. Vita Vea said he wanted out of Tampa Bay. Do you think that was maybe the team he was alluding to, or do you think it was maybe a linebacker? Because right now Dallas is a little bit shorthand at that position.
I'm thinking that it was more so of the Raiders. I mean, they want to entertain that. They entertained that before he was scooped up by the Ravens. So the Cowboys were willing to give up a first round and a player like Osa. So now that that ship done sailed, maybe Jerry was talking about circling the block back to the Raiders and saying, okay, I got a first and maybe a third round draft pick. I don't know. But with Vita Vea type of conversation, we got a Kenny Clark, we got a Quentin Williams, and Vita Vea is due new money, which is $31.5 million or something like that. And I know that we only got like $5 left in the account. We still got to pay George Pickens.
Yep.
And down the stretch, we got to pay Quentin Williams to do an extension because we saw what Jalen Carter just got $106 million guaranteed, 152 collectively extension. So that's a lot of money. So the Cowboys got a willing deal. I think that Jerry still might look at this team and without saying it, my brother, maybe he is going all in.
Oh.
Maybe he is if he's going out there picking up the phone and finally calling someone. But it may not be a Vita Vea, and it may not be Max Crosby, though.
Oh, I hope he goes all in. I remember, I believe a couple years back, he was like,
Yeah.
"We're gonna go all in," and the best we did was just sign somebody, and we're like, "Well, this is the Cowboys way. This is what we knew what was gonna happen." Now,
Uh,
I believe last week it was kind of announced Will Greer, he retired. Now he's joining the Cowboys coaching staff as the offensive assistant. How do you think that impacts this team with such a talented QB room, especially with Dak?
well, familiarity, whatever word almost messed me up. Familiarity is everything. I think that Will Greer been here for a minute. Him and Dak are cool. I think that, with that, it's just another fresh set of eyes that can help out the quarterback. I don't see any ill wills with that. I like what Will Greer brings to the table. Great energy guy, and he will fit right on there.
Now, of course, the NFL draft, the big commotion was, can the Cowboys draft Caleb Downs? When it got towards the 10 mark, it was starting to get a big question mark because it seemed like, I believe if I remember right, the Chiefs traded in to the top 10 pick, and it was like,
Right.
well, he's going to Kansas. And behold, he did not. He ended up falling to the Cowboys. What was your reaction kind of seeing that moment? And kind of, were you nervous thinking Dallas was going to miss out?
Well, Caleb Downs by far one of your better defensive backs in this draft class, and I'm thinking that Madden just released the ratings, and I think he is your highest rated
Oh,
defensive back or
that's what I
defensive
like.
player in general. So I don't want to put too much dip on the chip with Caleb Downs. I just thought that he was the heartbeat of Ohio State. You hearing so many people talk positive about him, whether it was when he was in Alabama or when he was in Ohio State. They saying positive things. Hearing Christian Parker talk about unlocking unbelievable more potentials out of him. So I think Caleb Downs was a great pickup for us. I was excited, and then we add extra spices to it in the first round by getting the Malachi Law, which is good because that's my name. You know, and I think Law gonna do a great thing.
We need an interview with Law and Law Nation. Make it
Come on with
happen.
it. Come on with it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ray, come on, let's do
Come
that.
on,
You
let's
know.
do it. Let's do it. Now, of course, let's talk about George Pickens
Right.
because coming into this season, when we traded for him, it was like, okay, you're gonna deal with the guy who the locker room, he kind of has his issues. Dallas first year didn't seem to be a problem. It was just he wanted that max contract. There was kind of reports at that time saying he wasn't gonna play on the franchise tag. He ends up signing it, saying, I'm gonna play. How do you think this performance in terms of Jerry and they see what they see? Do you think eventually they're gonna trade him in terms of that, you know, leverage, or do you think, hey, pay the guy, let him stay with CeeDee Lamb because those two as a duo, we saw what they did last season. They kind of tore up the league a little bit.
Yeah, you keep both of those boys as long as possible. He only had a Costco sample size here last season. Yeah, with 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns, and he made some nice game-changing type of plays that can help us out. You can go back to look at the Green Bay Packers game 2-1, right? The Jets game, and there's several other games. That second game versus the Eagles. I think that GP, which is a phenomenal wide receiver, we need the both. We need both of them. You need a CeeDee Lamb who's finesse physical, and then you need a George Pickens who's physical finesse, and you collide both of them worlds together. Yes, something will happen. Here's my biggest takeaway from all of this. George Pickens, the cheapest he will be was last season and right now. But the moment he get on that field and play midway through the season or finish this season out, that price tag, that bag is going to increase.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. So I would have loved the Cowboys to go ahead and figure out a deal, but I get their reservations because he only had a Costco sample size here.
Yeah, it always seems with the Cowboys,
Yeah,
especially, you're thinking, oh, they're gonna extend him, and then things go sideways. I mean, you look at last season with Michael Parsons, he was kind of being like, oh, Micah's gonna stay, a lifelong Cowboys fan, and the picture came out with him on the training, I guess you could say bed, and it just
right.
escalated right there. Now, Parsons' agent is the same one that uh, George has it right now. So, do you think that has like any indications of potential of like things that could happen, maybe go south?
Well, it's a spillover. Overshawn have the same agent as Parsons, right? And as well as I want to say Sam Williams. So you got and Malik Hooker. So you got several guys that's already on this team that have or represented by David Mulugeta, which is the same agent of Parsons. So I think that it's not a one size fit all. I think that what happened negatively with Parsons was he tried to negotiate with Jerry by himself.
Hmm.
In
He never did
Jerry's
that.
old school, man, spit in your hand, shake the deal, and then it's all supposed to be sealed. But it didn't happen that way, so Jerry got emotional. Parsons probably got emotional, and David Mulugeta got probably emotional about it. We don't know the full story. We just know that Parsons is gone, Pickens is here, and the difference is between the two is Pickens new to this location. So he's not going to approach Jerry the same way that Parsons did. So it's straight business. I love the fact that Pickens showed up early, on time, and he's finished showcase to the world. Yes, I'm getting $28 million now. But lo and behold, after
It-
this season, it's time to crack it open. You
he's
know,
gonna get paid regardless, whether it hopefully with the
regardless.
Cowboys or somewhere else.
Or somewhere else. He's going to have a bright future in front of him, especially if he balls out the exact same way he did last season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, I want to get your predictions because it's a very tough schedule. We're facing the Rams that just got Myles Garrett. You got
Right.
the Super Bowl champs with without Kenneth Walker, which I think might be a little bit of a weakness to them, but they also have JSN. Obviously, you look at Philly, you always got to include them, despite being the rivals. They got Saquon, they got Devontae Smith, Jalen
Right.
Hurts at the quarterback. So, what's your predictions going into this season?
Um, the floor would be like 10 wins, 10 or 11 wins. The ceiling would be anywhere between 13 to 14 wins. So if I can manage to be somewhere in between 12 and 5, I'll take that. Hear me out though, right? Before anybody say, "Hey, this is just Homer love right now." No. In the month of November, looking at that schedule, there are all dome games, right? And I think 3 out of the 4 is at home. So regardless of it, I think that the Cowboys play better inside a dome. And we got a chance to play some of these cold weather teams early, like Baltimore, even though it's in Brazil, that's an early game, week 3. We play most of our rockiest of the schedule on the front end, and then where as far as the weather probably be I guess an impediment for the Cowboys, but we play Green Bay relatively early, right? So on the stretch, I look at the Rams game, even though it's in LA, that's still a home game. It's going to be more Cowboy fans than there are Ram fans in LA.
That's true.
And I look at it down the stretch, majority of those games will be at the crib. So I think that the Cowboys got a fair schedule, even though it seems daunting right now. But I think that where we play and when we play is a major thing that's going to help us out down the stretch for this year.
Oh, definitely. Like coming into this season when the schedule was announced, I looked at Baltimore and you're like, okay, there's somebody to
Yeah,
worry. But then kind of look at it, they have Lamar Jackson, they have Derrick Henry. Their wide receiver core is very hit or miss. So
right.
relatively, as long as you contain both of them, I feel like you got a chance to just shut down everything. They got a new head coach now, which might open up a little bit more, but
Hmm.
I still think you're gonna find a way to stop them. Green Bay, you look at and you're like, well, Josh Jacobs, he's doing his thing still. Jordan Love, he's still there. But again, uh, the Packers don't really have a definitive number one wide receiver. It
Right.
was who was it last year?
Romeo Dobbs.
Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah. And Josh Jacobs, I'm not wishing suspension, but due to all of the allegations that's going on, he should be suspended for at least the first 6 games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think that you get a chance to see him out there. Even if he is available, he probably won't be the same.
Now you might get Micah back that game. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
comeback game right there for him.
come back. But well, his brother announced that shoe is looking like it's more delayed than anything. And there's
Oh,
Terrence Parson, by the way, said that it looks like the recovery time he may be out until like week 10 or 12 or such.
wow.
So yeah, it's
That,
crazy.
that's hope for at least for the Cowboys' sake because that despite what you say on the offensive end for the Packers, that defensive end, they're kind of scary when healthy.
Yes, but and hear me out. I know a lot of people gonna say, "Hey, here's that Homer talk again." Law. Cowboys put up 40 points against Green Bay Packers last season without CeeDee Lamb. On top of that, 3 of the offensive linemen were out that game. So we put up 40 points, and you knew how porous our defense was,
Oh
by the
yeah.
way.
Mhm.
If they just had just a half of a defense, if they just picked the Soto High School defense, man, or something like Allen or somewhere in Texas, if they would have went and got one of these high school defense, maybe we would have had a better chance. I'm just joking, but it's just for what it is.
No, you're not wrong. I remember just watching this game and all the stress of being a Cowboys fan. You're yelling at the TV, "Come on, do this!" And just seeing it end in a tie. I was just my hands on my head, like that's it. Like
Yeah.
that's all it. Before I kind of let you go because I know you're a very very busy man. Obviously, the camp has opened up there in Oxford. I'm right.
Oxnard.
Oxnard. Practice was opening today. Did you see any of the clips and kind of what can you see from the clips?
Well, most of the real practice is going to start next week. I'll be down
Got
there,
it.
by
Got
the
it.
way, next week. But to put this out there, There was some good showcasing of CD Lamb catching the ball on the flats and moving it all the way upfield. And then there was a nice play that George Pickens was able to make as well. And then the surprising, one of the most highlighted plays this particular day was Jadon Blue. The
Oh,
brother is fast. Remember, he ran a 4.25 in the 40.
I need
And
I need that.
yeah, we need that. We need speed. And there's a battle within the battle. We know Javonte Williams is RB1, but RB2 is up for grabs. Like you got Malik Davis, you got Jadon Blue, you got Phil Maffa, which I will say Rashawn Gary, the new addition for the team today, forced a fumble on Phil Maffa. So, and Caleb Downs was able to recover. So, if this team can give us a little mixture of both, seeing some highlighted plays from the offense and seeing some takeaways and some defensive highlights, it's good for us. Now, I always say this. It's against friendly fire, meaning that you don't want to see too much touchdowns going on
Right.
because now you're looking at your defense saying, all right, defense, what's going on? And then you don't want your defense shutting down your offense too much because you're looking at your offense saying, hey, what we doing here, man?
I know, especially right before the season. Then we're gonna be
Right.
like, you're gonna get the headlines that go to ESPN. Are the Cowboys doomed? And the season hasn't even started yet.
Big facts.
Now, for more people that want to follow you, where can they follow you?
Oh, man, just quickly put in Law Nation Sports and you'll see my face, name, and logo. We on multitudes of platforms. And we talk Cowboys football and beyond. And speaking of that, we got a big boxing match this weekend
Oh,
with Roy Jones Jr. Fighters. So it's multitudes of things that I do beyond just Cowboys with the silver and blue. But my heart will always be
heart. Yep.
Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? It's just for what it is.
Now, one last thing. Do you watch the NBA? Do you have a favorite team?
Oh man, so whenever I say this, everybody goes into this conversational piece. Well, these are your typical Cowboy fans. They like the Cowboys, the Lakers, and the Yankees. Well, my basketball team is the Lakers, right?
Oh,
And
okay.
it's been there for a long time. So I'm a Cowboy Laker guy, and that's mainly because I'm from Mississippi, and
Okay.
we don't have a professionalized team, and I couldn't pick the Saints back in those days. Couldn't stand the Saints, by the way.
Oh yeah, no. I had some buddies that after they played each other, Cowboys lose, the Saints are always, they're always talking. But look at where they are right now. They're
No,
barely able to win one game itself. Uh, Quick predictions. How do you think the Lakers do this season? No LeBron.
no LeBron. I don't know, but I'm still Luca is there. Luca Magic. I think that the new additions that they have on the team, we had to see how that materialized. We're a playoff team, though. I think they can make it to the
Okay.
playoff and do something surgically down their stretch. But they're not a championship team as of now. They need some more picks. They need some more moves and stuff like that.
Well, as long as they play my Spurs, I don't know. I think we might have to
Ah,
give them that work a little bit.
man, I was rooting for Wimby and all of them. I was like, come on, don't let New York Knicks win. And unfortunately, I think Fox done sold it. No offense to Darren Fox, but I'm sitting here like, come on, man, come on.
Yeah, it's a very tough time to be a De'Aaron Fox fan, especially here in San
Is he still
Antonio.
on the team? Is he
He
still on the
is.
team?
He is on the
Get
team.
rid of him now. He made me mad. I'm still mad now that I'm thinking about it. Lord.
No, I was always somebody that was a defender of him, especially in these playoffs. And then I believe it was when they lost the 29-point lead. I was like, okay, yeah, I can't anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what made him go for that shot underneath his own basket like that? Kick it out, reset the clock, and then, 2 for 1 at least. You got Wemby.
That's all you
Shoot.
needed.
Yeah, Wemby, man, and the other kid, Harper's son, what have you. So it's crazy.
Well, of course, thank you for coming on to the podcast, talking Cowboys, and now a little bit of basketball towards the end.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's such a pleasure to interview you. I've watched you for quite some time, especially after the Cowboys lost. Sometimes during the win, I'm like, I know he's gonna give it, but the Cowboys loss is where I'm like, all right, I need to see what they did because I'm
Mhm.
just flabbergasted by what they do. But once again, thank you so much for coming on by.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the bass. Let's go.
Oh, I like that.